Howdy, hello, H2Os, Roller Bros, and Laurel Loves Dragons alike. Welcome back to a very seductive Sal Volcano, and also r/AmITheAntagonist. We've got some strange predicaments to look over today. Be sure to give your opinion in the polls after each story, and also elaborate in the comments. Let's get into the stories. Am I the antagonist for telling the girl who kissed my boyfriend for a play that she's desperate and pathetic? I, at 19 female, study drama at uni, and my boyfriend is on the same course. My boyfriend is a really good-looking guy, but he doesn't seem to know it. He gets a lot of attention from girls, and for the most part, doesn't seem to get that they're flirting with him. I'm not generally annoyed by this, and never really say anything. However, there's this one girl in our class, let's call her Victoria, who is obsessed with my boyfriend. She goes out of her way to be paired with him in group activities. For example, if the professor picks groups by numbering us 1, 2, 3, she will move herself to be in the same number as him. And she recently stepped down from a main role in the play we're doing, so she could be in a more minor one, simply because this character has a romance with my boyfriend. I know this is the case because I've heard her say to her friends that she thinks he's hot and whatnot. I've never said anything to her about it because she seems pretty insecure, always complaining about how she thinks she's ugly, and I don't see it as a big deal because my boyfriend doesn't care. However, we recently performed the play and had a small after-party where she got slightly drunk and was bragging about how she definitely felt something when they kissed in the play, and she's going to ask him if he felt the same. I rolled my eyes and again ignored it until she actually went up to my boyfriend. She was a little bit drunk, and when she went up to him, I was there too. Victoria started saying that she knows he must have felt a spark, he's a really good kisser, etc. I snapped and sort of shouted at her that you sound incredibly desperate going after someone else's boyfriend. You're pathetic if you think a stage kiss means you should be together. She looked super embarrassed and walked away, and I later heard she'd gone home crying. I feel like a dick because she's obviously insecure and whatnot, and her friends haven't stopped calling me a bitch since. Am I the antagonist? Edit, she 100% knows that I am his girlfriend. I've heard her talking about me being his girlfriend before. So, Victoria, I'm sorry that you're insecure, but, going after people that are already dating someone isn't going to help that whatsoever. Yeah, this girl might have gotten kind of mad at you, but wouldn't you if somebody was talking about how good of a kisser your boyfriend was and asking their boyfriend if they had feelings when you guys kissed? I'm not saying this would have been right, but you're lucky that you didn't get smacked for that. And just in case it's gotten confusing, I am addressing the girl that kissed the boyfriend, not the original poster. I agree with the original poster. I do not think they're the antagonist in this situation. I think Victoria has to learn how to, it's okay to have a crush on somebody, but it's really kind of lame to have a stage kiss with someone and then think because of that stage kiss that they're going to leave their current significant other for you. I think that's just not cool, especially to talk about it with the person's significant other in the drama production. It's just bad news. So just in case you guys didn't notice at the beginning of this post, I am going to be actually leaving in what Reddit's conclusion was on the Am I the Antagonist posts, because, I don't know, I just think it's good for you guys to be able to just compare how you feel about it to how I feel about it to how Reddit feels about it, Oof. Am I the antagonist for telling my niece she should wear deodorant? My niece is 12 and she's going through puberty. I pick her up from school or dance practice sometimes when her parents are working, and I've noticed over the last few weeks that she's been smelling very ripe. I was driving her home one day and said, this is abridged, "Hey, I know you're going through a lot of bodily changes right now and you're really growing up. I think it might be time to start wearing deodorant." She said, "I smell?" And I said, "Yeah, just a little, no big deal, just pick up some deodorant, your mom has some." Her parents called and were furious, saying that she's going through a difficult and sensitive time, and how dare I make her insecure about her natural bodily functions. I said, "Sorry, I thought if roles were reversed, I'd want someone to tell me. Are you really saying you didn't notice her smelling like BO all the time?" They said she had to come to them and ask for it because someone pushing the issue would make her insecure. And by circumventing her psychological timeline, I've given her a complex for the rest of her adolescence, maybe beyond. I didn't think it was a big deal at all, but now my niece and her parents are so upset, I feel awful. I'm wondering what I missed here. Am I the antagonist? Okay, in my opinion, if anything's going to give her a complex, it's her parents making such a big deal out of this, and also her possibly being the smelly kid because she didn't start wearing deodorant when she needed to. I mean, think about it. Your uncle says, hey, you're smelling a little bit, you might want to start using deodorant. All adults use deodorant, it's completely normal. You come home, say that made you a little bit upset, and your parents just say, no, that is normal. Everybody does that. That's totally cool. We'll get you some deodorant. You're gonna smell great. It's gonna be awesome. Problem solved. But by making a big deal out of it and indulging her upsetness about this thing being brought up, I feel makes the situation way worse. And if you don't start getting her deodorant, like I said before, she could be labeled the smelly kid at school because you don't notice that you're smelling before other people start noticing. Like, other people always notice before you, so if she was to come to them about it first, she's already been stinking it up for a while. So, I feel so bad for the OP in this situation because I think they did the right thing and the parents are doing the wrong thing. Am I the antagonist for inviting my son's entire class except for one child because of his autism? My son's 10th birthday is next Saturday, and me and my husband have planned a party for him. To make sure we gave everyone enough time, we got invitations ready 2 weeks in advance, and I had my son pass them out on Friday. We invited everyone in his class. He goes to a small private school, so there were only like 15 kids to invite, except one child we'll call David. The school my son goes to has a program for special needs kids where they are put into a normal class, they put normal in quotes, once a week. David is a high-functioning autistic child who was put in my son's class to help him socialize and to help the other kids learn not to discriminate against special needs people. From what I know about him and his mother, they are just doing their best, and I have nothing against either of them. However, there have been incidents with David before. Last year, through friends, I heard that David had a meltdown at another party he was invited to. I don't know if I believe it, but the parents who were there say it was because he wanted to open presents like the birthday boy, and when told no, freaked out. There are other logistical problems as well. The party will be in a loud arcade, so in the end I decided not to invite David. Well, after my son passed out the invitations, word spread around that we had excluded the special needs kid in his class. This got back to David's mother, who called me last night and confronted me about this. She told me that I'm awful for excluding her son and that I'm teaching my son to discriminate. When I brought up the logistics in the past incident, she told me that I'm an asshole for assuming what her son can and can't do before hanging up. I woke up this morning to a passive-aggressive post by her, and many other parents are siding with her. I just want my son to have a good party and didn't mean anything by this. Am I the antagonist? Yeah, this situation is really a stinker. I feel as though, as far as the loud arcade thing is concerned, that's probably something you could have talked about with the mother of this child with autism before you decided not to invite him, but I feel like the meltdown is probably a bigger deal, and as far as the meltdown is concerned, I feel like I need more info on it. Like, was it just a tantrum, you know, where he got upset and maybe cried and screamed? You know, plenty of kids do that sort of thing. Or was it a violent thing where he started hitting other people? Because if a kid's gonna be violent, yeah, that's probably not someone you want at a party. Or if a kid has, like, a tendency to be violent, I should say. It's not a guarantee that he's going to have another meltdown. And, you know, this might sound insensitive, but I can kind of understand where the mother's coming from. I mean, if another kid has a meltdown at a party, and I can attest to this myself, I had a party where a kid had a huge meltdown and actually started being violent towards other people, it can really take away from the fun of the situation, but I do feel like it's a sort of unpredictable thing. So I'm kind of in the middle, but, like, there's a couple things that do still concern me that I want to get into a little bit more. One, I feel like there just should have been more communication between the mother of the autistic child and the mother that was hosting the party. Obviously, that falls on the mother that was hosting the party to start that dialogue. But you also don't want this child with autism to be branded as this kid that has meltdowns and then be excluded all the time. So I have to sort of lean towards the side of this original poster is more in the wrong. And, yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it. Let me know what you guys think. So feel free to let me know what you think about all of these stories. If you'd like to check out my gaming channel, my Twitch, my Instagram, my Twitter, those will all be linked in the description down below. I might throw some links in the comments as well. I hope you guys are all doing super well, drinking a sufficient amount of water, skating on to the best of your abilities, staying safe, and taking care of the people around you as well as yourself. Peace out, Cub Scouts, and I'll see you very soon.